What's up? What's up? What is up? It's another Friday. That means we have another opportunity to get together and record the Ball Hog Sports Talk. We're in the building and we're getting to the end of March. March. That's right. Known as International Women's Month. We're getting to the end of International Women's Month. So you want to tune in for a great show. We got some good things cooking. You know what it is. It's Ball Hog Sports Talk, where sports, business, and entertainment collide. Where a few businessmen get together to discuss sports in an entertaining fashion. And we do it one way and one way only. That's rough, rugged, and raw. I promise you this. You do not want to miss this episode. It is going by the title of Bad Boy Friday. And there's been a lot in the news. There's been a lot of discussion. But we haven't discussed it yet. So on the other end of the intro, sports, business, entertainment, Ball Hog Sports Talk coming to you this morning. So let's go. Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go, 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 go. Once again, it's on. Once again, it's on. I have the distinguished pleasure to be in front of this microphone. Happy Friday, good people. And they call this particular Friday Good Friday. And on this Good Friday, I have the good pleasure of spending the time with my man, the myth, the legend, thou who shall be known and intergalactically respected as the Big Flow Shows in the building.
What's good? What's good? What's good, America? Happy Good Friday to all you that recognize the day. Happy Easter weekend. Got your good suit on. I know you have a suit in the closet ready to go.
You already
big hat, big clothes. You live for things like church, the Kentucky Derby, all that kind of stuff. So I would hate to see if the Kentucky Derby happened on Easter, the kind of suit you would pull out.
Hey, man. Hey, we're going to try to break records, man.
Like that hasn't been created yet.
We're trying to.
The material has not been seen together yet.
Not yet.
We can only dream. We can only dream about what you'll come out with.
How you been, man? I know it's been crazy last few weeks. We've had some shows. We had one last week. We back this week to make it 2 in a row. But it's the end of March, man. Spring is starting to be sprung, if you will. And it's a lot of interconnectivity and cross-section between sports. So I wanted to make sure we got a show in today. But how you been before we hop in?
I'm good. You can tell I don't have my background like normal, so location. And I'm back.
And you're gonna have a few connection issues, but
right?
even on vacation, man.
Hey,
my man, baby.
Wait for more. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just the internet can't handle all of this, all at once. So I don't know what it is. But, you guys might recognize the background. It's the same undisclosed location. As you see, I don't have to have on the hats and scarves to let you guys guess all the sunshine blinding your eyes from behind me. So out here. It may get a little loud in the background because, some people might be getting ready to go to the beach. I don't want to give you too many clues of where I'm at, but some people in this house might be ready to go to the beach. So if it gets a little loud, I apologize to everybody.
Hey, but that's not going to stop the show, man. The show must go on. And today's show really must go on because it's about entertainment today, baby. Ball Sports Talk with sports, business, and entertainment collide. And today's show is going on Good Friday, going by the title of Bad Boy Friday. We all know that we've heard the words bad boy used in the music industry, and we understand that there has been some news this week. Henry Davis crazy, man. What's up, Henry Davis? You partying with Diddy this weekend. There has been news this weekend. Now, just for the record, because my profession forces me to say this, everybody is presumed innocent in the court of law until otherwise proven guilty. So we just having fun today.
But in the court of public opinion, that shit don't work.
It don't work that way.
It don't work like that.
Court of public opinion, my brother has been completely prosecuted. He is under the jail.
Borrowed time.
Borrowed time. There's rumors that he's been going here, there, and everywhere. But I wanted to do it on this day because I wanted to make sure, as we are in our last Friday of March, I wanted to do it in this order. First, recognize all the amazing women that have contributed to the history of this country and around the world, beyond the country. But to the history of March being international, we call it History Month here in the country. And internationally, it's been accepted as such. But President Ronald Reagan continued the tradition until 1987 when Congress designated the entire month of March as Women's History Month. So here in this country, with the passage of Public Law 100-9. Since then, every president has issued annual proclamations designating the month to be recognizing and celebrating women. So we wanted to do that first. So for the entire month, hopefully everyone has enjoyed the history lessons that were provided, the acknowledgments of all the women that have contributed to amazing things in our country, from being inventors to business women to politicians to doctors, lawyers, all to people who consider themselves house moms, right? There have been amazing contributions by women throughout the history of this country. So we say on this last Friday, with a show full of testosterone, we want to say Happy Women's Month to all the amazing women out there. So clap. And then we also wanted to say, as before we pivot and have a little fun with it, this show is going by Bad Boy Friday. The allegations that have been made very public, we're going to make light of them, but we do not want to make light of those who are, at least by the allegations, who are victims. So let us make that clear. Again, there has not been a trial. There have been some, at least one, and now it looks like a second civil suit. But there are different burdens of proof when you come to criminal versus civil. So I'll leave it there before we pivot. More broadly, the general use, right? Because while we do think of we've been programmed, we grew up in a certain era of music, that we want to think that every time you hear Bad Boy, it's take that, take that, take that. Pun intended. With all the music, and we know the dancing machine, shiny suit man. But more broadly, Bad Boy is defined as a man who does not conform to approved standards of behavior, especially in a particular sphere of activity. And it's the more broad use of Bad Boy that gets us to this point today. Because there have been, in this week, in sports, business, and entertainment, examples of men who do not conform to approved standards of behavior, especially in a particular sphere of activity, that have led to some of our sports, business, and entertainment stories this week. So let's hop into those. March Madness first. March Madness has not disappointed.
Never does.
Never does. Single elimination game. We talked about Kentucky last week, and that was just the tip of the iceberg, because now in the Sweet 16 round, there have been a whole bunch of bad boys, underdogs, who decided not to conform to the expectation that they were indeed going to lose the game. Last night was nothing short of amazing basketball. While most of us, because they had the CBS game, watched the UNC Alabama game, which was a back and forth game. At one point I think they got up to like 11 lead changes or something like that. Like 12 different times where the game was tied going into the last 3-4 minutes. So I don't know how many times ultimately, but it was some good basketball. And if you have it DVR'd or you've been under a rock, spoiler alert, we're going to get some scores here. Alabama ended up defeating North Carolina, 89-87. North Carolina was the 1 seed in that region, in the West region. Alabama was the 4 seed. Alabama showed up and decided to be indeed a bad boy. Did you see some highlights of the game? Watch the game. What did you think of it before we go to the other games in the Sweet 16 that were played last night?
I saw it early on in the game. I'm in this undisclosed location, so it wasn't exactly the place I could pay as much attention as I'd like to. And I saw it kind of going back and forth in the beginning. Expected it to be a good game. My brackets were busted a long time ago, but I had North Carolina advancing, so doesn't look good for me. So that's where I'm at with it.
So it was the East region and the West region both played last night. I love the game. Nelson from Alabama, sort of a stretch forward, a white dude with a mustache. You know what I mean? Because the mustache, baby, we bringing it back. But was indeed a bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
This dude balled out. Had I think 24 points, 19 of them in the second half. He hit a 3-pointer late that changed the game. Then he had the old school and one that also changed the game late in that contest, and then went to the line and hit 2 key free throws and was the star of the show. He was the star of the show last night. And Grant Nelson of the Crimson Tide was indeed a bad boy. Armando Bacot missed a dunk and had a turnover late and seemed to struggle all night. They had the ACC Player of the Year who played like anything other than the ACC Player of the Year last night. But Alabama prevailed. Good form. That was
What credit do you give? This is Bangkok's 9th year of college, right?
I don't know exactly.
I think I don't know.
Give or take. I think it's his 5th because he got hurt his first year and he got a COVID year. I think he actually could do another year, which I hope he does it, but I think he can do
it. He
another
might
year.
because they're saying that he doesn't have really good NBA stock. So let's say he might go ahead and just stay in college and make the low million he's got. They bring it in for him. I don't know what he's making over there, but it's something pretty nice. He's on campus. He's aging out of the co-eds, though. He can't date the co-eds. That's the problem. He can't. Right. He can't go to Penny Beer Night anymore.
Maybe leave that little girl alone. I know you didn't intend to put that in this show, Bad Boy Friday, but touche. He might be getting too old.
He might get a little too old for the bars, man. You might want to move to Charlotte and just commute for the game or something like that. Get around some grown folks. But I love seeing it. I just like the upset. Who do you is your number one pick still in it?
I didn't do a bracket this year. I almost didn't
do a bracket, but I just felt like I had to do a bracket. I had to do one. Yeah, I got UConn one in it, so UConn still in it. They're doing well.
They're doing very well. The other teams from the West region, the number 6 seed Clemson defeated the number 2 seed Arizona, and indeed the number 6 team Clemson showed up and played bad boy. They did not believe that Arizona was better than them, and really they dominated most of the game. Mm-hmm. Arizona ended up making it a game late, but did not look like the number 2 seed, and Clemson moves on. So while one ACC team, North Carolina, goes down, despite having the number 1 seed in that bracket, Clemson showed up and showed out on behalf of the ACC and moves on. So that Elite 8 matchup is going to be the number 4 seed Alabama versus the number 6 seed Clemson. Bad boys. They did not conform to the expectations, and that's what makes the tournament so beautiful.
Absolutely.
In the East region, you talk about UConn doing what they were supposed to do. They showed up. They did not allow anybody to play bad boy or spoiler and decide not to conform against them. They beat San Diego State by 1,000,000 points, hyperbole, but by 30 and continued their dominant 24 March Madness tournament. And then on the other side, the number 3 seed, again, another upset. Not much of an upset, but still the lower seed won. Number 3 seed Illinois defeated Iowa State 72-69. Another great game.
Just trying to keep it up for the Big Ten, for the home state, even though Illinois is our rival. At this point, we're just going Big Ten. We're just going to go Big Ten. Purdue's still in it. They're still in it. Let's go. Big Ten.
March Madness is exactly like, and that's what makes it so amazing. And I insert that first here. on Bad Boy Friday, this Good Friday, because these teams that are lower seeded, I mean, if you watch Alabama, it was a classic, instant classic. So I'm not gonna they didn't dominate UNC instant classic, but these lower seeded teams, the most dangerous two groups of people in the entire world. First group is people that got everything to lose, and the other group is the people who have nothing to lose. March Madness, those two groups face each other.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina had everything to lose. We go back to Kentucky, had everything to lose. When Kentucky lost to Oakland, they had nothing to lose. Last night, North Carolina with the number one seed, all the expectations. You got Armando Bacot that's been there, according to you, 9 years. They're the veteran team. They have ACC Player of the Year. Hubert Davis is being, sort of walked into this new conversation about his legacy. And they play an Alabama team has nothing to lose. It's a single elimination situation. Nat Oates' team, Alabama, figured out a way and made some baskets late in that game. It's just a beautiful time, man. Shout out to March Madness. I can't take my eyes off of it. Looking forward to tonight's games. There'll be opportunity to watch some of the other lower seed teams and see what they do. But then we got the ladies today too. It's International Women's Month. Say again.
I'm thinking about the games today. We've got Marquette and we've got Purdue Gonzaga and Marquette NC State. Do you think when you look at some of these top seeds versus the low seeds and media rights, it seems like most of these top seeds are media darlings, right? They're winning more games, they're on TV more often. Do you think that gives them some sort of an advantage when they get into the tournament? You don't have much time to prepare for your team. Obviously, this game you've had a week to prepare, but just in general terms of speaking, these guys, these coaches are fans of the game too, right? So they'll sit back and they're going to watch these great teams play. So Purdue's a great example. Purdue's been number one back and forth all season. They got the 7'6" center.
Edey, yep.
Yeah, Edey, whatever. Everybody knows who he was. He's player of the year last year. And I think every school in America, their coach is thinking, what would you do to stop Edey? How would you stop Edey?
So they sort of theoretically have had more time to prepare because they've
been mentally preparing for you since the beginning of the season in case they ever faced you. What would I do?
Yeah.
And then Purdue coach doesn't have that same think about everybody else. So
Gonzaga had a lot of because they were ranked really high early. But I get your gist because Gonzaga is always like sort of the sleeping giant. While they do get high seeds, they really don't play on national television often. So I get what you're saying. I don't know, man. I think like at this point of the year for this tournament, single elimination tournament, I don't think any of it gives you an advantage. I think when the ball is rolled out, the team that responds quickest to the emotional roller coaster that it is to play in March Madness, understanding that it is single game elimination, understanding that the whole world is watching, especially the Sweet 16 mark. It's just the team that I think deals with the emotions the best early. And then the coach that makes the best adjustments. I thought last night Alabama made some amazing adjustments. And at one point they were down 8. They should have been down 10 going into halftime. Davis misses the front end of a 1-on-1. And so, it is what it is. Armando Bacot missing a dunk and then having a late turnover was the difference in that game. You don't want to point your finger at one player because it's a series of plays to win a game, but those were very crucial mistakes that were untimely. But I'll look today and ask you quickly, do we think that the bad boy, which is defined as sort of, again, the person that it does not conform and is more unconventional, the underdog here, do you think the bad boys win today? You got NC State with Big Boy, who looks like he should be playing in a one technique. You got NC State that they are the UConn of a few years ago. They got hot in their conference tournament, somehow figured out a way to win it, got the 11 seed, and now they're in the Sweet 16. Do you think NC State can beat Marquette?
I got a root for the big sexy boy, right? He's out there. He doesn't jump. He doesn't do anything.
He
He
got a quick
plays.
spin. He doesn't jump much, but he
He's
got
got
quick,
real nice feet. He's got
quick
nice
feet.
soft hands.
Yep.
He will not jump off the ground. And I like that lazy man's game that he's got. So I'm pulling for NC State. Like to see
I
that
am too.
game. I'm
I am
pulling
too.
for him, see who can win. I'd love to see him going against Edie. He don't really play much D either. He does. He's the kind of kid dude to try to rip you. Like you're trying to take your dribble. You over 300 pounds. Do not try to. You should have 0 rips, 0 steals. It should be
It's all
blocks,
contact.
all contact.
So
But
you pull NC State. I'm going the same way. How about Gonzaga, the number 5 seed, over Purdue, the number 1 seed? Any chance for upset?
I always think Purdue was bad. I don't think they're that good of a team. They have a guard from my hometown, just came in from Southern, who's a pretty good player. I think Edie is, if you can keep him from getting the ball in the paint, which is easier said than done. If he doesn't dunk the ball, he shoots at a low percentage. He's got very bad touch. He will make his free throws though. So if you foul him, he'll make free throws on you. But if you can get him to move and try to use the glass, he's a bad basketball player. So it's just how much can you frustrate him? And then the refs. I've watched a lot of their games, and it seems like sometimes the refs don't care about Edie. They say you're too big for that. When I give you that foul, sometimes they're ticky tack with them. So
Yeah.
it goes back and forth. But I'm gonna pick Purdue to lose today as well.
That's the only one that I think the favorite wins. I think Gonzaga is. I don't think that they can deal with the front court size of Purdue. How about Duke, the number 4 seed, playing Houston, the number 1 seed?
Houston's a tough one, man. They've been really flirting with good basketball the last couple of years, and they've been doing well. The tradition of Duke, man, they've been there before. When you come to Duke, you come there for these moments. Like they build for championship basketball. They don't build for regular season, blah blah blah. They're there. They've been there. Their coach has been there before. I don't like Duke, but I gotta go with them.
Yeah, I'm picking Duke to beat the 1 seed too. There, a lot of teams would be coming together at the right time for Duke, and even late in the season when they had some losses, they were inches away from a very different record. And I think Houston at the same time is exposed through injuries that they're susceptible right now. So I'm going Duke over Houston. And then I guess it would be, it's the 3 seed Creighton have to beat the 2 seed Tennessee. Tennessee was sweating the other night but came out on top. Do you think Creighton can beat the 3 seed, beat Tennessee, the number 2 seed?
I know the least about this matchup. Out of the matchups, I haven't seen a lot of any of them play basketball. So I'm just I picked 3 upsets. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go Tennessee on this one. But I had to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of either of those teams.
Tennessee's got this white kid Connect that is crazy with it, man. But he struggled the last game, so we'll see what he does today or tonight. And then we got the women, man. It's March. It's the last Friday of International Women's Month. How dare we not celebrate the women? The NCAA. So we know March Madness is finally being allowed. The term March Madness, women are finally allowed to use it as well. So in women's March Madness,
stop for a minute. Can you think about how ridiculous that was that the women weren't allowed to use it? Why?
I mean, so many things have been ridiculous during March. You get to see the ridiculousness of how misogynistic the country has been. But that's one example, right? Where sports, business, entertainment collide, the Ball Hall Sports Talk, you think about a brand like March Madness, meaning basketball on the collegiate level. Why would it only apply to the men?
Like you don't want it to be good. Like it's literally like they did not want the women to succeed. If you think about it,
and yet I would argue, like this year, pound for pound, it's going to be quite the spectacle on the women's side.
A big day too for basketball for women. You got number 2 Notre Dame versus number 3 Oregon State.
Yep.
Then you got number 1 versus number 1 South Carolina, and there's number 4 Indiana. Yep. South Carolina being the overall number 1. Number 1 Texas versus number 4 Gonzaga. So it's a big day for Gonzaga basketball. And then number 2 Stanford versus number 3 NC State. So NC State's got some good stuff going today too. It's kind of cool when you see the men's and women's team doing the same thing. So but just these high seeds are going high brackets, very low upsets, I guess, in women's basketball
What I
because
do like, I mean, because there will be some overlap and conflict in the later games because the men's games will be on as well. But they've got that CBS, TNT, TBS, and True contract. So the women will be on the worldwide leader of sports. Will be on ESPN. So 2:30 p.m. You know what I'll be watching. Notre Dame. Let's see if they can get her done. But I think there's a lot of good basketball left to be played, and so and then tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow we'll see the rest of the women's side. You've got LSU, UCLA. You got Colorado taking on Caitlin Clark. You've got Baylor playing your girl Juju. And then you've got Duke playing UConn and Paige Beckers.
I
Right?
find it interesting though for women that the lowest seed remaining is a 7 seed. It seems like the seeding in basketball, women's basketball, they get it right.
They do. Or you say it's a lot less parity, to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at all the 1 seeds. You got Juju, and USC is a 1 seed. You got Caitlin and Iowa as a 1 seed, right? And then you
Texas,
look,
South
say
Carolina,
again,
Texas, South Carolina,
Texas, South Carolina, but then you've got USC and Dawn Staley is the 1 seed. So it for whatever reason, it seems to be less parity. USC is 34-0. In order for them to win it all, I think they gotta still win what? They got 16-8, 8-4, 4-2, 2. You gotta go 38-0. 38-0.
Look, there's 3 2 seeds and 3 3 seeds still remaining. All 4 of the 1 seeds still remaining. I mean, they got the brackets right.
Yeah.
They got the brackets right. That's
did.
pretty interesting though. So I'm gonna try to watch it. I always try to watch little Caitlin Clark. I like watching Juju. Obviously my Irish, check them out, see what's going on. So I'm interested. They got my attention.
Let's
got a lot of women's bracket this year, by the way.
There you go. Let's pivot on that then, man. Because Caitlin Clark, when you say her, we talk about March, and when you talk about March and March Madness on the women's side, you can't do anything but talk about Caitlin Clark, right? Because she's broken the record. They came up just short last year. But this week, Caitlin Clark was in the news for a whole different reason. Caitlin Clark was in the news because it was reported, somehow it was leaked. Ice Cube claimed that he didn't leak it because he didn't want to take away from her run, her championship run in March Madness. But it somehow was leaked that Ice Cube and the Big Three offered Caitlin Clark the bag. $5 million for 1 year of basketball, and was very unapologetic about doing so and how this could be a landmark moment for women's basketball if she would come play with the men and play in Big Three. Now, I hate the ETP's not here because he suggested that they should play 3-on-3. I would have loved to hear his take on it. We'll put a pin on that and bring him back and make sure we talk about it again. Let's just talk about it in a few parts. We saw Sabrina Ionescu do the shooting competition against Steph Curry.
Steph, he didn't get to play defense, though, did he?
Steph did not get to play defense.
Okay.
But we celebrated that as like this, this moment. And she decided to play with the men's size ball, shoot with the men's size ball. There was a lot of fanfare into it. Both gave a large check to their favorite charity. Is this a celebratory moment that Caitlin Clark has done so much as an all-time leading scorer in NCAA, men and women? Is this a celebratory moment that a men's league full of men teams full of men players, and a lot of which used to play in the NBA. Is this a big time moment for women basketball that Caitlin Clark got offered? And look, I'm assuming she would go into being one of the highest paid in the Big Three immediately.
Yeah, I don't think there's people making that kind of bread in the Big Three.
What is this in terms of the overall trajectory and momentum of women's basketball? That someone would offer her $5 million to go play against men.
You know, before the show, you and I talked about this, and I was like, get the bag, get the bag, get the bag. But then I just thought about it. The more I'm thinking about it, the risk to women's basketball in general, I think is amazing. And I think she probably would be setting women's basketball back if she took it.
If she
Because
took the money.
Yeah, because in 3-on-3, first of all, she's no chance she's gonna be able to cover anybody, right? There's no way she's gonna be able to cover anyone. 3-on-3 is even worse than 5-on-5. At least 5-on-5, you at least have the presence of other human beings. They gotta, there's this tighter window. They're gonna take her off the dribble every time, no problem, right? They're gonna go right by her or body her up, no problem, right? And then I don't know if she gets her shot off quick enough for guys not to close out on it and get the shot. She's not going to be able to get a rebound. She's not going to steal. So she's probably going to do terrible, let's be honest. And it'll set back women's basketball. We always talk about how bad women would do against men in sports. We don't need the proof. The proof is always worse. You always, like domestic violence, right? You saw what happened to Ray Rice. You heard about what he did, and it sounded terrible. When you saw the video, we couldn't turn back. Now he's done forever. He's banished forever once we see it. So to see how bad she would do versus the speculation, it would be a bad move for female basketball. I don't see it.
So maybe female basketball. So you mean on the court if indeed she does not succeed on the court. But let's think of it from a business standpoint, right? There's a league that's not like the Big Three is only a few years into existence, and he's done well with the Big Three. I think he had the right model. He understood what a good market would be. Former players. He knew not to be too demanding. He knew to choose, arenas that didn't need, like, he doesn't have NBA arenas. So from a capacity standpoint, it's a more intimate feeling when you go to one of those games. It's sort of a pseudo tour. From a business standpoint, I think Ice Cube and the powers that be have made some great business decisions when it comes to the Big Three. So with that being said, these businessmen that have been pretty savvy, they've built something out of nothing. These men thought that she was marketable enough, attractive enough to demand, and I mean attractive in terms of a business standpoint, not aesthetically or physically. I mean, they were attracted to her business prospects, the upside to what she would be for the league to the tune of $5 million a year. That's saying something about the business of women basketball. That's all I'm saying is there's a story in that story. No?
Could it be free press? Could it be they know that there's no chance that she would have the nerve to take it? No chance that she would ever risk it.
Why not? $5 million versus she might make 500,000. Maybe.
I mean, you said it during the pregame. She's making a lot with endorsements. She's got a chance to make this. She got a chance to be the pioneer for this WNBA. She's going to come with more splash and more buzz. Maybe she could take it and bring women up, and she could do everything. But she's going to be the marketing darling of this league. She's going to have a lot of people coming at her though, so she better be ready because there's some goons in that league. They're going to be coming for her, but she got to be ready for it. And then if she fails in the Big Three, it's one and done, fizzle. If she goes to WNBA, it's wah wah. You know what I mean? So I think maybe they know that and they say, hey, Caitlin Clark could lose any weekend now. She's a big name right now in basketball. Let's throw this out there. Let's leak the story. Now, everyone's talking about the Big Three. Everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to be on every show. Everyone's going to make a big deal about it, what she should do, whether she could do it or not. And the Big Three. When does the Big Three kick off?
I think the summer. I think Big Three is a summer league. Same time. You can't do both.
Yeah.
You couldn't do both. I think it's a summer league as well. And I'm sorry, I got to cut that in half. I said 500,000. No, the highest paid players in WNBA are making around 250,000, not 500. So I gave her too much. And like the annual salary, average annual salary was about $120,000 last year, and she would be making $5 million. I don't know, bro. I think, look, you and I have very different positions, and I might be changing that. I might be saying take the bag. Take the bag. What's the worst that's going to happen? You take a year off your WNBA career?
You take your whole WNBA career salary. We think about that. So let's say she's a max contract, 250. So every 4 years she gets $1 million. I mean, so 20. that's their whole season. No, that's your whole career.
That's her whole career. Absolutely. Now you would imagine that incrementally, hopefully the salaries are going to get better. But I mean, time value of money. If I can get $5 million in 2024 to play basketball, and it's going to take me until 2044 to get that same $5 million if things stay the same in WNBA basketball, I'm going to take the money.
You're going to have to pair her with the right people. The problem is who's she going to deal? Everybody going to call for isolation, and they're going to kill her. Isolation, clear out. Let's go stand in your quarters. And I'm coming, I'm dunking on her every time. There's no way she can stop anybody. There's no man she can stop.
That's not, she can stop something. I don't go that far.
Who? Name one. We're here.
I don't know who.
I don't have anywhere to be. Who comes to mind?
I don't know. I'm not gonna throw a man's name out there.
When you said it, you pictured it. When you said it, we decided to refute me.
I mean, somebody who's like she could probably defend some of the retired guards that just don't move around that well in the Big Three. They've got a few of them.
For instance,
I'm not giving no examples.
I mean, for instance,
I'm not doing no examples.
Anybody who's healthy enough to play the Big Three, she can't deal with them.
You don't think she could defend anyone?
No one. Nobody. She may get a lucky poke out if the guy comes and helps on defense. She might catch a lucky poke here and there, but all they can do is just back her down and just dunk on her. There's nothing she's.
Yeah, it's only three, so people can help out. Look, I'm not sitting here. I'm definitely not. I don't see a complete liability on defense, but she's not the only complete liability on defense in the Big Three. If she were to go, let's be clear now. There's a lot of complete liabilities on defense.
She's a complete liability everywhere that she faces. Every time she gets on the court, she's a complete liability at defense the whole time. Because she can't block anybody's shot. She can't. It's not like she can jump real high. She's only 6'1".
But she's there for offense. She's not there for defense. Let's not act like they're bringing her in to defend. They are bringing her in because she's the all-time leading scorer in NCAA basketball, men or women. They bring her in to shoot the cheese. People are going to come to watch the games. Like the business part of it says to me, Caitlin Clark should do it.
Real talk though, Caitlin Clark should. You claim to still have a little something left in the tank.
I got. Can
she get her shot off on you? A three?
Off a screen? Yeah, she probably could. Off a screen? 1-on-1? No, I'm not letting her get her shot off. But
she can get it off on me. I can't close out like that anymore. I'm not going to try to front. You have a little left in your tank. You keep claiming to have this dunk tape that's floating around.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's there.
It's still there. If you can still dunk a basketball, she can't shoot a three on you if you have anything left in you. Yeah, so if you're in the Big Three and you're still playing, you have something left in the tank. You at least got a quarter tank. The light's not coming off for at least a year. She can't get her three off on you. In a 5-on-5 game, she'd be less of a liability.
Yeah,
because you can get her off screens better.
You can hide the fact that she can't defend better with 5.
And on offense, you could get her more open. But in 3-on-3,
I think Mike Brown says, "What's up, MB?" Mike Brown says it best though. Ain't nobody coming to watch her defend. No way. They come to watch her shoot the spots off that ball, man.
I don't think, Mike. I feel you, man. I appreciate you. I just don't. I just feel like you could chase her around. Like, you know what I mean? She's not faster than anybody. They go chase her around. It's only 3-on-3. If it's 5-on-5, it's going to be hard to cover. You know, you can get her open on a 5-on-5 for some easy shots, but you're not going to be able to do that in 3-on-3. They don't have anybody. They have nothing else to do. It's just too much. It'll be tough. I think it's a big risk, but you know what though? If I'm her, I'm saying to hell with female basketball. Give me that bag. To hell with the WNBA. They've been hating on me anyway. To hell with all of them. Let them all earn their own keep.
She gotta wait till April.
I'm back with you. Give me my bag. Give me the
She
bag.
can't take the bag in March because I think that's just
Give me the bag.
sacrilegious to Women's Month. But the big winner in all of it is the big three. I think Ice Cube stepping up and defending the offer and also saying, look, it wasn't supposed to get out. We wanted her to focus on her March Madness run, but why wouldn't she do it? This is a landmark opportunity for women. And I think Ice Cube is the big winner in all of this. The big three gets the benefit of the clippings and the clickbait. And we're talking about the big three in the midst of people trying to figure out who's got the play-in game in the NBA. So the big three has, whether we like it or not, stepped up and created another narrative of basketball in the midst of the playoff run of the NBA. So shout out to, I don't think she can do both.
Why not?
She's not a machine. She's a human. She got to figure out, I mean, the WNBA is not, it's not like, that's not AAU basketball. Like that's competitive, tough basketball, such that, you know, I know you said it. Someone told you that she's not better than the top two players on every WNBA team. I disagree with that, but the WNBA is full of talent, man. It's full of talent. So I don't think she can do both.
I think if you give her some look, she's gonna go to WNBA. She's gonna be able to come in there and call a couple shots. She's going to the big three. They want her. The big three doesn't. How many events do they have? They have one every weekend.
I don't know how they do their scheduling.
I think they
try to it's like a tour type deal. They go places and play multiple games in the tour.
So I'm saying I'm doing both. All right. WNBA comes first just because they kind of need you for the whole league standing. But I'm gonna
Which bag you want? Both of them. BOFUM. Both of them. Give me both of them.
Give me both bags.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark though, man. She's had quite the year in 2024. I imagine when they do the ESPY Awards, she's gonna be a finalist for not only some of the biggest shots and the biggest moments, but in terms of Women Athlete of the Year, she's had quite a year. So shout out to Caitlin Clark. Take the bag, Caitlin. Take the bag. They know who to offer, boy, because you offered the wrong sister. She out of there. Caitlin might stick with the purity of the game. I suggest, if you ask me, take the bag. Somebody else that seems to be wanting to throw the bag away because of some of his decisions is Draymond Green. Now, on this episode of Bad Boy Friday, the bad boy continues to be a bad boy. I like Draymond. I do. I like Draymond. And we'll go back to the definition, the more broadly universal use of bad boy as a phrase. Define a man who does not conform to approved standards of behavior, especially in a particular sphere of activity. That's Draymond Green. He has decided he will not conform to the approved standards of behavior in the in the NBA, but also the approved standards of behavior for the Golden State Warriors. He's on a team full of choir boys. Steph Curry looked like he looked like he's going to be the one up doing the mass this Sunday at Eastern back. Like he looked like a church deacon several years from. That is who he's playing with, and yet he continues to refuse to conform to the standards of behavior. In 2 games, the 2 last games, he's got into altercations within the first few minutes. He just got ejected 2 nights ago, and the altercation happened 4 minutes into the game.
Mm-hmm.
He got ejected, 2 technical fouls back to back. This is his 4th time being ejected in this season. A season that has been shortened considerably by his own bad boy behavior. Is Draymond good for the Golden State Warriors and the NBA? It's Bad Boy Friday, but Bad Boy is like you have limitations. That's what this whole week is about. At some point, Sean Diddy Combs, the example here. At some point, people said they tired of your shit. It sounds like Steve Kerr, after saying that the ejection was unacceptable, is tired of his shit. We know that the NBA, based on what people said, they overreacted with the suspension that was, indefinite. It seems like the NBA was tired of his shit. And then Steph Curry, in the latest occurrence, when Draymond Green's ejected, you see Steph Curry in tears. Now, I ain't crying about nobody being ejected, but it seemed like an emotional response. So it seems like maybe even his right-hand man who stood behind him throughout all of this is to the point where he's like, I'm tired of your shit. Bad Boy Friday has the bad boy duration of Draymond Green finally met its bad boy moment, a la Sean Diddy Combs.
Did we validate whether or not he actually put hands on Steve Kerr? Did we ever validate that, or is that still
That's a rumor?
legend?
I didn't want to put that out there. It's been rumored that he choked Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr fought Michael Jordan. I'm assuming that Steve Kerr going to defend himself. I'm assuming he's going to defend himself. And there's no substantiation of that rumor yet, so we got to just let it linger. How dare we not let it linger? Let it linger. There's a rumor out there that Draymond Green put hands on Steph Curry. I'm not Steph Curry. On Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Steph Curry, he'd be out the league. But put hands on Steve Kerr. But rumor aside, like when is enough enough? Have we gotten to the point where enough is enough with Draymond Green?
His average is under 10 points. I just looked it up. He averages 8.6. Maybe if he can get that above 9, we can work with him. But you don't score enough points for all that kind of stuff. But the team needs somebody like that. They got too many light-skinned folks over there to really. They need somebody in there that doesn't give a shit. Every championship team needs a thug, and I hate to use that word on him.
They're the 10 seed. They're the 10. Let's not go too far. Now, I know that they always pull a rabbit out their hat, but right now you got the Lakers, the Suns, and the Warriors all in the play-in. The Suns being the best of them at the 7 seed, but you got the Lakers and the Warriors, the 9 and 10. At some point, we got to move on from thinking championship and just look at civility. Like what the hell are you doing, bro? You ain't played enough games to have 4 ejections this year.
He needs to go to the Lakers. He does. He needs to come. He needs to go be with LeBron and them. You know what? Because somebody needs to slap the hell out of Anthony Davis when he acting soft.
Anthony Davis had a big week this week, man. He saved y'all. He saved the game. He had a big week this week.
I don't think enough is enough. I think Draymond is Draymond. I think Draymond is Dennis Rodman. The antics come with it. He go through spells. His medicine got to kick in. They got him on new meds. Once the medicine kicks in, he'll act right. But I think he realizes it's a bad time in the season, and he needs to show these people that he's pissed off. I think Draymond is calculated because he doesn't. If you hear him talk, doesn't come across as wild as his behavior. Would you agree with that?
I agree. He sounds like when he is, maybe it's because he's on his meds, when he is off the court in front of that microphone and, or even on his podcast, it sounds like he has regrets for some of the things that he has done. He sounds very mature. And then, bam, game time comes and Draymond is off the chain. He goes into bad boy mode way too easily. Because you're going
I have to think that it's calculated. I have to think that what he's doing is calculated and that he's doing what he's got to do because they are a 10th seed right now. He feels like this team needs to be shaken up and he's letting somebody come. I'm trying to give him some credit. And he's trying to go through and he's doing what he thinks he needs to do. Sometimes you got to be wild. Like how many times you see coaches get ejected on purpose? Like no coach has ever been teed up accidentally.
Not 4 minutes into the game, Big Flo.
He's trying to get the guy behind him some minutes. He's get right. Or maybe Draymond was at the club last night. Was Draymond with Harrison? Is he? He might. I don't know. He might be with James Harden at the club. You never know what time that's going on. But I don't know. I think sometimes it's calculated. It has to be, or he's one of those dudes that needs to go to them classes. every school had a class. Guys that kind of like filter out the class.
We call it the portable classes. They put them out there. You're not in the building. They got the little portables out
They
there,
got a
man.
little thing. It has a deadbolt on the outside, just in case. We had something in my high school like that once. I had to go in there and speak to these kids. These kids had to be cab. They had to take a cab to school and get let out by the door, drive on the sidewalk, and go inside. I don't recognize any of these kids. We've been in the same
Like
school
they go to my
district
school, right? That's
for
Draymond.
12 years. We've been in the same school district. I don't know who any of y'all are. When
The
did they
problem
snatch
is
you up?
that they have let him into general population. He is with the most sane, law-abiding teammates that you could imagine. I don't imagine Steph Curry don't even have parking tickets. He just doesn't,
What
right?
do you
Like
think Steph Curry says to him in the locker room? Hey man, Draymond,
he really teared up this last time. I mean, he's internalizing it and personalizing it more than Draymond Green. That's what scares me about the bad boy image that Draymond has embodied, is that it seems like everyone else knows that they can't really win without Draymond on the floor. Everybody else knows that, look, man, yeah, you can be Dennis Rodman, but do so without costing the team and costing yourself
But
games.
they won last night, right?
They won. They won. After all that, they won. After all of that, because Andrew Wiggins went off, superstar. Yeah.
Superstar, calculated. It was time.
It was time to let Andrew out the bank. Let him see
up.
Andrew.
Threw the cape over Andrew on his way out. Let's do it for Draymond.
Do it for Draymond. Let's go home with 3 lightning round topics, man. Getting out of here. And for those of you who joining us, weren't with us last week, new format is going to be, we're going to go shorter, but we going to go just as strong. So lightning round version, we're going to go out with this. Houston Rockets on a 10-game winning streak. Ever since Jalen Green's news of him impregnating a much older woman went public, he been going slap off. They didn't won 10 in a row. They're in the 11th spot, threatening Golden State for the 10 spot play-in. Do you believe in the Houston Rockets? Houston, do we have a problem, or is this just all for nothing? They're going to fall flat when it's all said and done.
He's got to pay this lady off now. She's 40 years old. I think she was on fertility
39. She's 39. She ain't 40 yet.
She's going to be 40 by the time that baby come out. She had to go on fertility treatments just to get pregnant. And rumor has it, came out yesterday, she doesn't want a relationship with him. No shit. No shit, she doesn't want a relationship with that little kid. You think
Captain Obvious? Captain Obvious.
We didn't know. Where did that come from? I can't believe this isn't going to work out. But so she's got the shorty now. She got the bag, so he knows he's got to get a Supermax. He has to get a Supermax, or he's going to have to trade a couple of his Bentleys. So basketball is funny like that, just like baseball. It's a long season. You see people go through these streaks, and it's at the right time, and then they don't know what's going to happen, man. I mean, I'm still going to say Lakers in 6, but you never know. They come back, but Houston. It's my time. We haven't heard from the Rockets since the Dream was on there. So
it is interesting, right? In this episode, Bad Boy Friday, that when the shoe is on the other foot, when the roles are reversed, and there's a 40-year-old man that impregnates a 22-year-old woman, it's a different conversation. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. And while she is being celebrated, they should be celebrating the fact that they just won 10 in a row. Those Houston Rockets, that Jalen Green, won 10 in a row, so we shall see. If they can play spoiler and Bad Boy Friday, let's see whether or not they can get her done. Now we got to go to my man, Caleb Williams. You are in the epicenter, maybe not right this second, but you live in the epicenter of what is now becoming Caleb Williams conversation. Right there in Chicago, because they got rid of Justin Fields, everybody expects and almost would be willing to bet that Caleb Williams will be the pick when the Chicago Bears are on the clock with the number 1 pick. Caleb Williams was spotted recently at a USC women's game. He had pink fingernail polish. He had what I would say was at a minimum some lip gloss and what others have said is lipstick. He had a pink cover on his phone and looked like what was a pouch or a clutch that was also a light pink, pinkish, salmon family, if you want to be specific. And more questions are starting to sort of be raised about, is this the guy you want to be the face of your franchise? So because you're the one who has to answer that question, he would be the face of your franchise. Bad Boy Friday. Are we getting too far into the weeds by making him out to be a bad boy because he's doing things a little less conventional, a little more pink, and far less masculine than you would assume?
I'm going to shout him out.
Go ahead and shout him out.
I'm going to shout him out for celebrating Women's Month. You know what I'm saying? So he came out there in partial drag, to do what he had to go do. So I'm shouting him out for that. So Caleb, I see what you did there. I
see what you did there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take that.
So
go ahead.
I'm gonna set that to the side.
Okay.
Still don't like how you cuddled with your mama under the book. We're not on that. I haven't forgiven you for that. I don't like the fact that you went to the combine and didn't even do interviews or nothing. You're the only one who did nothing. You went, I think he Googled it and said, what's the least amount anyone ever did? Said, no one's ever come here and done nothing. So he came and did nothing. I don't like the whole, you don't have an agent type situation right now. I'm not saying you have to have an agent and it's a slotted draft, but I don't like the way your dad is telling people that you want to be a part owner of a team. You're not the greatest quarterback ever. You're 0-4 against ranked teams in college. You lost to Tulane in the bowl game. You really only had one game that was amazing against any team that was worth a damn, when that was Notre Dame. And I don't see what you did in that game with your arm. You ran the ball on third down and long, got those first downs. I just think after you had a Heisman season followed up by pedestrian would be going way too far. But what were your Heisman highlight moments this year? I take the boy that won the Heisman over the guy that didn't win the Heisman this year. I don't know.
It's a great opportunity to pivot because you said the guy
JJ McCarthy.
I was going to say, but the guy who won the Heisman, Jaden Daniels, is now, according to some of the mock drafts, is being supplanted by JJ McCarthy in that number 2 spot. Jaden Daniels is expected to go like number 4 or number 5. JJ McCarthy, I know you know him well, and he's also worn that bad boy banner. Now we move from bad boy Caleb Williams to let's go JJ McCarthy. For some reason, people don't like him. Maybe it's because of the Michigan thing. I know IMG.
Who doesn't like JJ?
There's been a lot of not when I say people
haters. Ohio State people don't like JJ.
I mean, the
public from Ohio State University, you don't like JJ because he's been in that ass every year. Pause. But no, JJ is he's going to be a great quarterback. And I do know him personally. I'm biased. I'll put that on the side. But the way that he conducts himself, he's been self-grooming and groomed by a great family to be a leader at that level for a long time. Everything's college. He's raised money to pay his own NIL to his offensive line. He's done his own charity work since he was coming up. He's got a flawless record. He's engaged to be married, so he's not going to be out in these streets. He's not going to be out in these streets doing things. He got his, I believe it's the same girlfriend from high school, so he got a real one. You know what I mean? He's not going to be over here having 40-year-old baby mamas and all kind of crazy shit like that. He's going to go there. He's going to make somebody a very happy franchise when he goes and does that. So, yeah, I would take him. And he's a Chicago boy, so he can throw in the cold. So I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Chicago Bears at number 1 pick in the draft.
If they take JJ McCarthy, whoever has the audacity to write on the paper is going to get fired as soon as the ink drops. They got to take Caleb Williams because he's the only one in a very rich quarterback draft. He's the only one that has been given that blank check that says this is a franchise quarterback. Undoubtedly, he's been called a once-in-a-generation type talent. You might disagree. I'm just saying that for job security, the Chicago Bears and the powers that be, the people who helped make that decision, know that that paper has to say Caleb Williams. Has to. But
I like those people. Go stand on Lakeshore Drive with a blindfold. All those people out there, those on the Lakeshore Drive, Google it. Go out there, Lakeshore Drive blindfolded.
Yeah. Let's go out like this, man, because I do like the sign off on JJ, and you almost made me a fan right there. Let me see if I'm gonna start watching a little closer. It's been a great week. This has been the Bad Boy Friday episode. We know that Bad Boy, the record label, has been in the news for all the wrong reasons, and we started by making sure that we did not diminish or try to make light of people who, according to the allegations, are victims. But how dare we not at least bring it into the forefront as it pertains to sports, business, and entertainment. We thank you like we do always. Ask you humbly. We ask you to like, comment, share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody you know, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the podcast. Enjoy your Easter weekend, everybody. Put on them pastels, baby. Bring them out and do them right. Enjoy March Madness, the Sweet 16 on the men's and the ladies' side. Halfway through with the men's, the ladies start in a little bit at 2:30. Let's go Irish. Any parting words before you get out of here, Big Flow Show?
No, I'm about to hit this nice weather we have out here. All that sun glistening from behind, making me look godlike. I'm gonna go ahead and just give myself up to the weather, man. When we get out there,
Enjoy it, man. Don't be out there acting like no bad boy, man. Enjoy your weekend down there, my brother.
All right, my man. You take care of yourself.
You know what it is, man. I'm your boy, B Brown ESQ, aka the Ball, aka the Mountain South, aka Mr. XL Celebration, aka Breezy. This has been our show, the Ball Hawk Sports Talk, where sports, business, and entertainment collide. A few businessmen get together to discuss sports in an entertaining fashion. We do it one way and one way only, rough, regular, and raw. We're going to catch it next week, because with that, we is out. Peace.